Sawadika and good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight with me, Tulip Naksompoplau, live from the studio in Bangkok, and also with Nat Bunak, live from home. Good evening.
Good evening, Sawadika.
Sawadika, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm actually getting used to the live from home atmosphere, except for the technical glitches. Everything's going okay.
Yeah, I think working from home, one of the things that make everybody kind of feel a bit difficult is the technical stuff.
Definitely, as well as the internet connection. Sometimes if you lose that connection, everything will be like, oh, I'm still working on this, but then the connection is lost, that sort of thing.
Okay, so you will give us the latest update from CCSA today, right?
Yes, and today is another day where we're seeing triple digits of new cases. And unfortunately, we're also seeing 2 new deaths as well. So today, the CCSA deputy spokesperson, Dr. Aphisamai Sirangsan, revealed today that 187 new cases of COVID-19 have been recorded today. Among them are 177 local transmissions and 10 cases from abroad. The new cases bring infections in the latest outbreak to 9,450, while the cumulative total is 13,687. 2 new fatalities have also been reported today, bringing the death toll to 75. The first fatality was that of a 61-year-old British man who arrived in Thailand on December 25th and entered state quarantine in Chonburi province. He developed muscle pains on the 28th and tested positive for the virus the following day. He experienced difficulty in breathing and his condition worsened until his death on January 24th. The second death was that of a 56-year-old woman in Samut Sakhon province. Interestingly enough, she had not traveled to high-risk areas and had mostly stayed at home. But her husband had been in close contact with a fish vendor in Samut Sakhon. Her condition worsened on January 21st when she experienced breathing difficulties and later died. However, it was not until yesterday when doctors confirmed that she had COVID-19. Meanwhile, 95 new recoveries have been recorded today, bringing the total recoveries to 10,662. At the same time, a few hours ago, Samut Sakhon reported 914 new COVID-19 cases as of 5 p.m. today. So we might be able to expect 4 digits of new cases on the CCSA's tally tomorrow.
Possibly. And that is what the number that Dr. Aphisamai has been warning us during the press briefing, that she said 800. So just to prepare us mentally to hear the news, and now it's come 914. So Dr. Aphisamai said that Samut Sakhon is actually preparing the field hospital because they expect this number. And they said that right now they have about over 1,000 beds, and by Friday there will be about another 1,400. And they have talked to the private sector, factory owners, and many places, and they believe that they will be able to provide about 3,000 beds in total to handle all these new infection cases. Dr. Aphisamai told at the news conference this morning that the number of beds they have available is 1,091 beds. She appealed to the private hospital to help the mass screening process, without which 10,000 per day target may not be achieved. She said so far the official had help from the private sector and also requesting help to the military doctor, but they also asked the private hospital to also help with collecting samples, taking tests from general public. The mass screening she was talking about will focus on migrant workers in factories, communities, and dormitories in the province. Infections in the province have reached 5,480 since December 17th, most of whom are migrant workers. The infection rate among them is about 7%. That's why Dr. Aphisamai come up with number 800, because they try to screen about 10,000 people per day. Samut Sakhon is Thailand's current hotspot for COVID-19 infections due to the poor living conditions in the cramped dormitories of the migrant workers from Myanmar, creating an ideal environment for the spread of the virus. Dr. Apisamai said that the severe cases will be sent to normal hospitals for treatment, while those with mild symptoms or asymptomatic cases will be housed in the field hospitals. Looking at the big picture, she said, the rate of new infections fell yesterday and today, with new cases being reported in just 7 provinces compared to more than 30 during the initial stage of the second outbreak.
And today, Samut Sakhon has already intensified its proactive screening amongst high-risk groups with an aim to screen at least 60,000 people within this week. And this morning, a big cleaning operation began at the central shrimp market in Samut Sakhon province with a large number of migrant workers helping out. However, the timing of the reopening of the market remains unclear, as 118 more migrant workers were found to be infected with COVID-19 over the past weekend. All of them have been sent to field hospitals for treatment. Today also saw the start of the proactive screening of 10,000 people per day. The COVID-19 Center of Samut Sakhon province aims to screen about 63,126 people within 7 days. And this includes 41,000 workers in 15 large factories, 1,200 workers in 5 medium-sized factories, 1,008 workers in 13 smaller factories, as well as 7,500 people in 15 communities of Samut Sakhon province, 600 people in 3 markets, and 10,900 people in the high-risk group. It is also expected that over 4,400 new infections will be discovered, or about 7% of those being screened. At the same time, medical personnel from various hospitals have been helping with the proactive screening of high-risk groups in different communities of Samut Sakhon. For example, medical personnel from Sirirat Hospital helped the screening at Mahachai Villa Market, although the market is still open for business as usual. So you can see that the proactive screening has been intensified because of the new infections that we're seeing during the past weekend, and the aim here is to get at least 60,000 within a week. So that is around 10,000 each day.
And as we reported that the CCSA, Dr. Apisamai and Dr. Tawisin also have been pleading to the owner of these factories to cooperate. And they try to reiterate that even though they're workers in Thailand illegally, it has nothing to do with the screening. And Labor Ministry said that all the factory owners can register their workers on the website, and these people will be allowed to work legally for now because of the COVID-19 situation if they're in Thailand since before December. But there is still a problem. Some employers still just sneak their workers out of Samut Sakhon and then left them somewhere. Like there's the latest news report that in Kamphaengphet, the police said that they have found 9 Myanmar workers that left stranded on the side of the road in Mueang Kamphaengphet district of Kamphaengphet province. The police said that the information given by each worker were confusing, as some said that they came to Kamphaengphet by a public bus, some said they were in a van. They are, however, all from Mahachai Market in Samut Sakhon. And the police had to communicate with them through a translator on the phone, since none of them can speak Thai. The police said that the workers were apparently on their way to Mesot district in Ta province, and they planned to return to Myanmar. When their transportation was passing through Kamphaengphet province, their driver suddenly stopped and told them to get out. Then the driver just drove away. The public health official from a local hospital in Pak Ang Sap district performed the health check on the stranded Myanmar and took them to an isolation facility before all entered the deportation process. So right now they are waiting for the result whether any of them are infected with COVID-19, and all of them, of course, have to enter the deportation process.
Right. And moving on to the news of the vaccines, it looks like Thailand will be getting a Valentine's Day present because Thailand will start the vaccinations on February 14th and starting in Samut Sakhon province.
Okay.
So according to the Public Health Permanent Secretary, Dr. Kietiphum Wongrachit, Thailand will administer the first inoculations with the COVID-19 vaccine from AstraZeneca on February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, in Samut Sakhon province to frontline medical personnel and public health volunteers on a voluntary basis. Dr. Kietiphum was speaking today after a teleconference with executives of central and provincial health offices, private and state hospitals under the chairmanship of Public Health Minister Anutin Chanvirakul. Vice Minister Dr. Sopon Mekthon also said that 50,000 doses of the first lot of about 150,000 AstraZeneca vaccines from a plant in Italy are due to arrive in Thailand early February, and they will be given to up to 7,000 frontline medics. The next consignment of 100,000 doses are due in March and April. This shipment is separate from the 26 million
doses.
26 million doses to be produced locally by Siam Bioscience. Mass vaccinations are arranged in 3 stages. So the first stage will be from February till April. So due to the limited supply of the vaccine, inoculation will be restricted to high-risk areas such as Samut Sakhon among frontline medical professionals and health volunteers only. Each volunteer will be given 2 doses with 21 days between them. The second stage will be from May till December, where more vaccines will be available and more target groups will be inoculated across the whole country. And the last stage will be January next year, where more vaccines will become available and more people will be inoculated. Since this mass vaccination is unprecedented, Anutin said that all provinces must be briefed on the preparations needed to ensure that all people will have access to the vaccine. And as the vaccine is new, he said inoculations must take place in hospitals in case anyone develops acute adverse side effects. He also said that the ministry has developed an official line account called Mo Prom to facilitate registration to receive the vaccine and to follow up any negative side effects experienced by those inoculated. It will also serve as a communication channel between the people and the officials. The system will be put on trial among medical personnel on February 12th and will be open to the public in April. So that is the latest on the vaccine.
So talking about vaccine, one thing that we have to should be aware of or should get more information is the side effect. And it's probably varies from vaccine to vaccine. In Thailand, we talk about Sinovac, Coronavac by China from Sinovac company. And we also talk about AstraZeneca from Britain, but in US, they are talking about Pfizer and also Moderna, and they start inoculate people already. And Thai PBS Thai language has reported about this one Thai researcher. She is a postdoctoral researcher in University of Chicago, and she posts on her Facebook as well, telling her story about how she got inoculated twice already and what is the side effect. So her name is Dr. Sirirak Changrop. She has received 2 doses of the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine. She recently talked to Thai PBS about her condition following the vaccination and offered some advice. She received the first injection about 20 days ago. She then showed up for the second injection as appointed and was asked by the nurse about any side effects from the first jab and whether she had tested positive for the virus in the preceding of 90 days. Dr. Sirirak said that after the second injection, the nurse congratulated her for having received her 2 doses of the vaccine as required and attached an I got my COVID-19 vaccine sticker to her employment ID card, which might be necessary when she's traveling. She said that she didn't feel anything until about 8 hours after the second injection, when she started to feel feverish and some pain at the injection site, adding that all her colleagues warned her that the post-second injection symptoms would be more painful than the first one. She explained that the Pfizer vaccine requires 2 doses to achieve the desired efficacy. And the first and second injections must be at least 21 days apart, compared to 28 days for a Moderna vaccine. She also recommended that anyone who is not sure that they can get the second injection within the set time frame not get the first one. She also said that anyone who requires daily medication to treat other ailments should consult their doctor before being vaccinated to ensure that the efficacy of the vaccine will not be affected by the medication. The general post-vaccination symptoms include fever, headache, muscle pain, and shivering. She added that these are positive signs that the body is developing an immunity. She also said that taking medication to prevent the onset of a fever after vaccination is not recommended, adding that the vaccine only protects a person from developing symptoms and does not protect a person from becoming infected by the virus. As such, there remains a need to maintain social distancing, to wear face masks, and to regularly wash hands until 60% of the population have developed herd immunity. So according to Dr. Sirirak, remember that we reported a little earlier that Dr. Yong suggested maybe we inoculate the whole population with the first vaccine and then just the second one when it's available. But if the theory of Dr. Sirirak is true, then we cannot do that. We have to calculate how many people we can give vaccination twice, and then we have to finish lot by lot.
Right, and what is interesting from Dr. Sirirak is that the vaccine only protects a person from developing symptoms, but it does not protect that person from becoming infected with the virus. So that means although we've been inoculated with the vaccine, we still need to maintain social distancing, washing our hands frequently, and wear face masks at all times when you're outdoors.
Until herd immunity created. So yes. I guess it will be probably another year for Thailand. According to the program that they just launched, the last batch or the last group of people that will get inoculated in Thailand will be January next year. So yes. Until then, we just have to maintain the strict the disease control guidelines that we are doing now. So at least another year.
Yes.
Okay, and that's all the news we have in this edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. You can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and also our website, thaipbsworld.com. And we all have to sign off for tonight. Thank you for watching. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ